Hello there. The new British Prime Minister will soon find that governing has to be about more than pandering to a nostalgic base. Can she hold the country together? Well, Elizabeth II can no longer do it for her. Margaret Thatcher, the first woman Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, held office for 11 years. Theresa May only for 3. She was succeeded by Boris Johnson, the pro-Brexit hero whose forced departure has now paved the way for Liz Truss to 10 Downing Street. Conjectures are already being made as to how long the third woman at the head of the government will stay there, and whether she will stay below May's length of stay. Because in 2024, voters, especially those whom Johnson had lured into the Tory camp with all sorts of promises, could have had enough of the Conservative government and opt for a party political change. But what are 2, 3, or even 11 years next to the monumental lifetime achievement of Elizabeth II, Queen of the Britons and Northern Ireland? She sat on the throne for 70 years, was head of state for many countries in the Commonwealth. She commissioned more than a dozen men and women to form a government. Liz Truss was her 15th prime minister, who most recently, 2 days before her death, was asked to form a government. What a meeting of history and political banality. Unpleasant months lie ahead for the citizens of the kingdoms, though. Rapid inflation, rising living costs, skyrocketing energy prices, a high level of willingness to strike in many sectors. They will have to get through these months without the cheering comfort of their queen. And so the eyes will be even more on the new head of government. When everyday life gets uncomfortable and many people no longer know how to pay their bills, Liz Truss can appeal to British pride. No matter how strong the world storms get, the British people are stronger. Yeah, she did that, but that won't do. The poses a la Thatcher that she took during the fight for the office of head of government will not go far, despite all the sadness that binds them, not in these uncomfortable times. Truss, the quick change artist who once opposed Brexit before believing it was the salvation of Britain, will find it hard enough to make it in the long run as the Iron Lady's heiress. The opposition has already opened fire. The new Prime Minister was asked during the election campaign whether she considered the French president a friend or an enemy. Her answer was revealingly vague. The verdict is still pending. You heard this several times from me. Yes, there were and are Anglo-French disagreements and nicknames. Some things have to do with leaving the EU, which France considers a colossal mistake, and not only France thinks that. But a prime minister who, as foreign minister, was unable to judge Macron will soon find that governing is and must be more than pandering to a nostalgic base, as I said. The UK has a new government with a new frontwoman, but Elizabeth II will no longer provide the support that so many have sought and received from her for 7 decades. This anchor of stability no longer exists, and so, through the shock of the Queen's death, shimmers the fear that the centrifugal forces in the land of the four nations could be felt more than ever. For now, that authority is missing, that unique historical figure that gave the kingdom a splendor that had long since faded in other fields. And that luster is now gone. And I'll see you in my next video. I'll be back.